Well, here we go as we continue on a busy, busy day, as you know. Everybody was talking about USAID. And still are to some extent. But then Donald Trump walks out a couple of evenings ago with Bibi and says, hey, I think the United States should take over Gaza. We'll clean it up. We'll take care. We'll turn it into a prosperous place that people will want to be. And it looked like Netanyahu was not surprised by that. Others, however, were. Saudi Arabia saying absolutely not. Other Arab countries saying no, that will never happen. What do you make of it? Asaf Romirowsky, a PhD, is the Executive Director of Scholars for Peace in the Middle East. He joins me now. Sir, nice to have you here. When you heard it, what was your reaction?
Well, good morning again. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Again, to contextualize, my reaction was this is Trump trying to change the equation of what's been done for a long time. I mean, Donald Trump is a very unique politician, to say the least. I think that there was an attempt here to try to shake the so-called the snow globe, and in many ways try to show that to the actors in the region that there is a new sheriff in town and things are going to be done in a different way. And I think that this is, if you read between the lines, to my mind, an attempt of some kind of statecraft that is coming out of the Trump administration to try to say there are carrots and there are sticks, and the United States is going to be an active player here, very different than the previous administrations. For the Israeli standpoint, I mean, and again, I think this is to your point about Netanyahu, there is a sense that Netanyahu and Trump are on the same page. And let's not forget, when we contextualize this, that Israel at this current point cannot leave Gaza. They have to secure their citizens. And in the current configuration of Gaza, under Hamas Islamist rule, they can't leave.
There's a point that you've made there that's incredibly important. Benjamin Netanyahu said, look, he's watched this entire life. He lost a brother to these ongoing, conflicts in the Middle East. So he's been through it. He's been to the funerals. He understands the price that has been paid. He said, we're done with this. We're going to eradicate them once and for all. We're going to be done with it. And so maybe what Donald Trump is, the old saying, beating the grass to find the snakes. Maybe that's what they're doing in Gaza. Maybe that was what the comment was about, to beat the grass to find the snakes being Hamas and other terrorists. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, look, it took them about over 20 years to build an entire, quote unquote, metro of Gaza, an entire terror tunnel system that has led to 10/7, a worst, modern day Holocaust war that Israel has ever fought, and at a cost of many lives. Now you also still have 79 hostages that are still being held in literally hell. We know now from all the evidence, something needs to give. My point before was that if there are going to be American troops on the ground or any kind of boots on the ground, that will potentially allow Israel to trust who's on the other side. There's nobody to trust now, and there's no entity they could hand over Gaza to, even in the day after tomorrow scenario. And so, to my mind, Trump is saying that things are going to be different now. I'm willing to have carrots and sticks, but trying to move things along in a direction where we can try something new after 76 years. Let's also be clear here. Arab Palestinians in Gaza are Egyptians. West Bankers, Judea and Samaria, they're Jordanians as far as the Arab Palestinian population. There is no intermarriage between these two societies. The Egyptians balked at the idea under the Biden administration when they tried to create safe zones in Rafah. Israel was able to make it happen. So part of historically...
So hold on, I want you to explain that a little bit, because Egypt and Jordan both proposed by the United States, take some of these people. They said, no, we won't take any of them. What does that tell us? If the people that are their neighbors in the Middle East say, no, we don't want these people. These are terrible neighbors. We don't want them in our country, period. We saw what they did in Gaza. We don't want that for ourselves. And yet they reject us, Saudi Arabia and Jordan and Egypt and all these kinds. What Donald Trump said is that's off the table. Well, then what do you got? That's our idea. What's yours?
Well, exactly to the point. And it's not only that they're their people, these are their family members. I mean, Gazans are indeed Egyptians. Up until 1967, Gaza was under Egypt. They are exactly their family. But part of the understanding here, based on the Arab Palestinian narrative, and this goes back to the heart of the refugee issue that you face within the Arab Palestinian narrative, is the fact that if they accept them into their respective countries, they would have to acknowledge that they actually had a hand in the creation of the Arab Palestinian refugee problem going back to Israel's War of Independence back in 1948-49. They want no responsibility. Let's also be clear here that both Jordan and Egypt, respectfully, are allies of the United States, and they both receive USAID. And, apropos your earlier comment as far as monies that are going into countries and organizations and whatnot. And so there is support there. And the question is, if they want to be part of changing the region, changing a dynamic, Donald Trump was part of the expansion of the normalization between Israel and its neighbors under the Abraham Accords under the first Trump administration. Now he's looking towards Riyadh. He wants to change the dynamic, and he understands, I think, as a result of what we've been seeing over the past almost 16 months now, and what we're seeing on the ground as far as the multi-front war with Iran, that the head of the Hydra are these Islamist organizations funded by the Iranians.
Yeah. It's time to dig deeper and to make sure that the Middle East doesn't return to where we were. Doctor, I believe that's where we have to go. That's all the time I have for today, but I want you to come back because the process, look, like I said, Donald Trump said, here's my idea. You don't like it? What's your idea? Because we're not going to continue to do this. We're done doing this here, which is everybody killing everybody every so often. Doctor, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There you have it. Trying to get you to the foundational issues here, which is, I think they'd kill each other with sticks and stones if you took the guns and bombs away. Got to fix it. I'll be back with sports.